Bonjour, Smiley doing a coordination of Cosmic today, Mama Kijapa. Minogizi Zeb. I said my name is Spirit Cloud, I'm Bear Clan, I'm from Mother Earth, and good morning. Take a minute off to pray for everybody. Buju, Gichimani do. Say miigwech for our day, miigwech for our ways, miigwech for your guidance. We pray for the ones that are stuck in addiction. We pray for the ones in recovery. We pray for our missing and murdered Indian women, boys and men, girls. We pray for our brothers and sisters in the Department of Corrections. We pray for our people that are in the hospital. We pray for our unborn. We pray for our babies, our youth, our adults, our elders, that life cycle. We pray for the ones that are struggling through this pandemic or this drug epidemic. And we got to continue to talk on it. On this drug epidemic, it's still hitting our community hard. It's still hitting our community. Buju, Sean, still Dave, what's going on, Neej? But it's still hitting our, we're losing our young ones to those overdoses and for that fentanyl. And it's so sad that, people will stand up for the water. And people will stand up for, protecting Franklin Avenue. People will stand up for, a lot of things in the community. But they ain't standing up to the pimps. They ain't standing up to these dope dealers. And, it's sad. It's sad. We got to do better for our people, especially if you're about this MMW. Especially if you're about saving lives for our people. We gotta make sure that they see us and we're visible and that we know what they're doing. We gotta shut them down in a good way. We understand addiction is addiction. There ain't no shame in them. But it's also uplifting them, trying to give them that help, trying to see where they're at, going to their house, even on one-on-one, and just saying, hey, what's going on here? We got to do better, man, because, this genocide's been put in our communities, in our nations first. Alcohol. And we continue to let this genocide bring us down, break us up, destroy us, kill us, and no one wants to stand up on it. Nah came out hard doing what we have to do for our people in a good way, but people are so scared of each other that they didn't keep the fire going. And once our traditional ways keep the fire going, our traditions are, slowly moving away. And, the women said they're lead. Well, start leading. I ain't seen nothing yet in Minneapolis or Minnesota or St. Paul or, on the res. You guys say you're leaders? Well, get out there because, it looks like you guys are tired. No disrespect, but it looks like your women are tired and that the men have to come back and start doing what they got to do. Because, believe me, the men have been resting a long time, and you women are right. You guys did your job. I believe, and that's just my thought, I believe that it's time for us Ogeechee dogs to start standing up and taking care of youth, taking care of the problems in our community, the fights, and what needs to be done in our families. Not sitting around Ogeechee dogs. Rise up. If we can do it in the joints, we can do it out here. Just imagine how powerful we are if we do it like we do it in the joints. How we can reach out and teach somebody and do it in a good way. And be ready for whatever. They want to rumble, it's time to rumble. But we got to make sure that the killing stops, that the OD stops, that, and bring awareness of why our children are in this protective custody or protected child protection, and start getting our children back in our lives and our community. I know it's hard. I love you too, daughter. I know it's hard in the process stuff, but if we start today and we start doing our communities and our houses and holding our relatives accountable, we could have a beautiful community that is about the RISE, the RISE. You look around you today, and we're the only community that's still at idle. We're the only community that they still don't have our own phone companies, our own laundries, our own grocery stores, our own clothing lines. We're the only ones that don't. Everybody else around us is living well. We're the only ones because, you know why? Our leaders. Our leaders are about that green. They're those green Indians, green in the outside and white in the inside. They don't have no native teachings on them. They don't care about it. They're about that green, and we got to continue to push them out of our so-called leadership and put real natives in there that are about the people, that hear the people and respect the people and live by our traditional ways. And I'm not saying all of them don't. And then we know how the council is. It's all about votes and the majority votes. But we got to make sure that we're holding these people accountable if they ain't listening to the people. Because it's only hurting us in the long run. It's hurting the 7th generation. When does these fights end? If we continue to let our so-called leaders worry about those grants and waiting for money before they help our people. And it's so sad to see that, because our ancestors and our elders never waited for anybody, right? We went out and hustled it off the land. We went and killed our animals. We went and sawed our wood. We went and did everything. We're survivors, and we could do it without their money. We could do it without their grants. And we've been showing this all the time. We're true Ogeechee dogs, and we got to continue to make sure that we rise. Because I know my boy, baby boy Junior, he deserves the best. He deserves the best. And we're going to give him the best. And I'm going to continue to talk real. I'm going to continue to talk the truth, because if no one talks the truth, nothing will change. Even though these organizations and these tribal leaders get mad at what I say, they're listening and things will change, but they're changing like the mail at a snail's pace. Because everybody wants to get big money. Look at the directors of these organizations making $100,000 a year. Look at our $50,000 a year. You don't need that to live. For what? Helping your people? Put that back in the pot and start spreading the love and building things that we need in our community that's going to help our people rise. Not these little band-aid situations about the homeless, making sure they look like prisons and install doors on them and let's do something where they feel invited, loved. Feed them like they're our relatives that come to visit with a good hot plate with nutritional foods. Plant gardens. Let's start doing that. Bringing the meat that we hunt back to our communities and serving our elders. Today is just 2021. You don't need to stop doing the traditional ways. You need to start bringing them back so these young ones know how to survive. And that's why you see a lot of young ones out here on this, living on Mother Earth, that are just out here every day suffering out of the cold, shivering in bus stops and doors mess because you guys shun them so much, and you guys got that stigma, and you say you meet them where they're at when they're drug use, But guess what? It's time to say no, we don't want no drug use. We want you to be clean, and we're going to help you get clean. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Which treatment? We start working in our community to bring our culture back so that there'll be strong Ogeechee dogs and stronger than ever. As we all know, our culture is built on spirituality, not religion. And we continue to live our spirituality and be guided by our Creator, Geechee Manidu, Takalashala, Wankatanka, whichever one you believe in. We're going to create a nation that is so strong that we come together with one war cry and everybody comes. From the babies to the youth to the adults and to the elders. And then the elders will lead. The women will lead the water fights, but the men will be the destroyers of the machine. You got to change up strategies. You can't just stand around and want peace. Peace is nice. Peace is cool. Prayer is cool, but you got to break those machines down. Just like you got to go stand in front of those dope pullers and realize that we don't want you in the community if you're going to sell it. You're killing our people. You're killing yourself. You're losing your children. You're losing your housing. We don't want that. We want you to rise as one nation under one prayer with one voice. We got to do better than that, people. We got to make sure that everybody knows that we are about taking care of ourselves. We don't need anybody to come try to save us. We got enough people that know what we need to do and stand together and make change. If we have to shut down a tribal council meeting because they're on BS and their money is not being held accountable, we should have the right to get them out of there right away. And they put an audit on them right away so that we know that our money is being spent where it's supposed to go. Look at the education piece of our children. They ain't getting the right education because no one wants to hold these schools accountable. But enough bitching, we want to start miigwetching. So I say miigwetch for everybody that's doing the right thing out here for our people. Miigwetch for our children that are leading, our women that are leading, our men that are standing strong and leading and making change. Because I'm not talking about everything, but I'm talking about reality, the overall performance of our people. And I think that we all know that who's doing the job is we can count on our one hand. Because we know it ain't the whole tribal setting. We know it ain't all organizations doing it. So we got to continue to talk on it. But pray for everybody. Keep it good in a great way. Don't get angry. Consider yourself blessed with the little things we have today. And keep it moving. Geek Wildman, love and respect. Have a beautiful day from me and mine to yours. And my little boy, yeah, he's knocked out. Yeah, so we got to make sure that action is done in the right way so that our people don't suffer anymore. Geek Wildman, love and respect.